Philly plus 7.5 at Cleveland. It's now 8. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Sixers here. So, I've downgraded obviously the Sixers for being without Embiid, but they've gotten a little bit better. They've actually started to, it's not just versus the Clippers. The 76ers have actually started to be able to cover some of these games. I feel like they are settling in and getting a little bit better in terms of being able to handle without him. Now, you look at that and you go like, Matt, they've lost 4 of 5. They have, you're absolutely right, but they have covered 5 of 7. And that's what I'm really counting on here. This is the Cavs team that Donovan Mitchell's still questionable. Donovan can play. The Cavs have a hard time beating guys by margin. They're not very good in these kind of spots, laying big numbers and having blowout wins. That's not really how they're wired. So with the Sixers, with Tyrese Maxey kind of playing a little bit better, to me, I watch the Sixers and I kind of get the sense that there's a feeling of, I think Embiid coming back to the practice legitimately gave them a boost. And they've actually kind of talked about this. Like they've talked about, well, we got the big fella. And I think that that's reinvigorated them because I think for a while they were honestly playing with like, man, I don't know, like the season might just be lost. They've played with a lot more verve lately, and they're hanging within these numbers, and that's why they've covered 5 of 7. So at a number above 2 possessions for the Cavaliers, who continue to be really messy and inconsistent, I'll go ahead and I'll grab the number here with the Cleveland Cavaliers or with the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Cavs. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I think that is the way to go. I was actually leaning that way when I was going through the sheet and trying to figure out my best bet for the evening. The Cavs have been inconsistent, and Maxey is just kind of keeping these dudes afloat a little bit. And I agree 100%. Even the report of the big fella being around and potentially starting to get going, it feels it's a hope thing. It's like maybe we do have something to actually play for, and maybe we'll actually be able to compete a little bit here in the playoffs if we do get the big fella back. So I think that is a big factor here. The number feels the 7.5 to 8 feels a little too heavy. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to dig in a little more. I'm kind of confused on why it's that big of a number. But yeah, I think it would be Philly or nothing for me, especially when we're talking about March and what we're doing here. Now, the one factor is this is the first time the Cavs have not been the 3 in quite a while.
Yep.
Right? This is the first time they're kind of like, well, fuck. Knicks are not playing around and they're not slowing up. So they could come in here with a little extra motivation of trying to get that 3 seed back. That's a factor in this game, but 8 points in this matchup does feel heavy.
Cavs this season, when they're favored by more than 6 points, so more than 2 possessions at home, 3-7 ATS. They win the games, they're 7-3, but they're just 3-7 against the spread.